Hello all, I'm Purva and I'll be explaining the notes of visual arts for NTA UGC net exam. First of all, I'm sorry for posting this after a month. I know we have a lot to cover. So yes, as it is our third video, this video will be divided in two parts as this topic is a bit lengthy. As a quick recap, in previous video we learnt about the various forms of visual art like fine art, applied art, performing art, etc. Today we will be learning the third topic of visual arts, which is traditional knowledge of art. So, let's start. In our first subtopic, visual expression, we understand it as a visual medium of spreading knowledge like the elders of our house do. Traditional knowledge of culture through festivals, ritual songs, folklores, and law practices are all being passed down by oral or visual expression. Looking at its forms, we see photographs, tables, drawings, films, x ray, etc., as various ways of acquiring some kind of information through the sense of vision. Moving to the next, carving and casting process are used in sculpture. In carving, creating a 3D form is by cutting or chipping away from the material. It's a subtractive process, which means you remove material to sculpt the desired shape. Imagine a block of wood or stone. You are taking away pieces of that block using tools like chisel and hammers. By carefully removing material, you slowly reveal the shape you have in the mind, that is your sculpture. In casting, you make a copy of a 3D object, like a statue, by pouring any liquid material like molten metal or resin, etc., into a mold that has the shape of the object. When the liquid hardens, it forms the cast, which is the copy of original. It is an additive process and can be recreated several times through mold. Do read the materials required by pausing the video. Construction in sculpture means building up a three-dimensional form by joining together different materials rather than carving away from a solid block. It's like assembling a structure piece by piece. Even this is an additive process. Next are the principles of sculptural design. Personally, I remember these as OPSAB: orientation, proportion, scale, articulation, and balance. It's easier to remember this way. Orientation in sculpture refers to how a sculpture is positioned or placed in a space, specifically the direction it faces and its overall angle as vertical or horizontal. Proportion in sculpture refers to the relationship between the sizes of different parts of a sculpture, where no part feels too big or too small compared to others or the overall piece. Scale refers to the size of a sculpture. It's about how big or small the artwork is compared to the things around it. Articulation involves how different parts of sculpture are joined or separated. This could involve visible joints or distant edges. Balance involves the distribution of visual weight within the sculpture. This is influenced by all parameters of size, color, texture, and the overall form of the elements. Moving to the next subtopic, painting techniques. Impasto is a painting technique where paint is applied very thickly so that brush strokes or palette knife marks are visible on the surface. This creates a textured, three-dimensional effect, with the paint appearing to stand out from the canvas. The Starry Night by Van Gogh is a good example of a signature expressionist painting and the use of impasto. Glazing in painting is layering translucent color veils over a dried color base layer. Glazing uses thin, transparent or semi-transparent paints that allows light to pass through and interact with the layers beneath. Leonardo da Vinci used it masterfully, as the famous Mona Lisa is a great example of glazing. Oil painting, in simple terms, involves creating pictures using pigments mixed with oil as a binder. This technique allows for rich, layered effects and a wide range of colors, and has been a popular artistic method for centuries. Oil paints dry slowly, which allows artists to blend colors seamlessly and create multiple layers for depth and richness. Wall glazing is a painting technique where a transparent or translucent layer of paint, the glaze, is applied over a base coat of paint to create a subtle color wash or layered effect. Now we will see about preparation for vasli for miniature painting. Vasli is a handmade paper used since 10th century in Mughal era paintings. It is an acid-free paper which uses naturally available blue stone, Neela Thotha in Hindi and Need in Marathi, which has copper sulfate in it as a coating to save it from termites and pests. A glue is applied over, which is made from cooking flour and burnished with smooth glass or seashells. Opaque or translucent watercolors are used to paint miniatures over it. Miniatures are illustrations, small in scale, inspired from Persian or Pahadi miniature schools. And that's a wrap for today. Hope you find these lessons easy to remember and understand. In the next video, we will be learning about the remaining subtopics. So, until then, tata! Thank you for watching.